Hey guys, I know videos have kind of been inconsistent for the past couple months. I just finally got around to finishing the video about New York, and I was going to tell the whole story in that video, but it had been 2 months and I hadn't done that, so I just sent it out. So this video, I want to talk a little bit about some channel announcements. We're going to kind of cover that. And then I thought we'd go over some recent acquisitions that I've made, because as you might have noticed from the New York video, I've been going really deep into film photography, and I've been trying to pick up some new films and things like that and try some out. The reason I haven't been doing as many YouTube videos is because I've been contracted to do video editing for a local company, and they are doing videos for our local farmers market. I'll keep it kind of vague. I don't know. I didn't have to sign an NDA or anything. I'm sure I could say it, but I'll just play it safe. But yeah, basically I've just been doing video editing for money, and I still work a full-time job. So I've not been doing as much video editing for fun. So that's why I haven't been doing as many videos. I'm seeing your comments, I'm reading your comments. Thank you for people who are commenting and still watching the videos. The Temu cam video, a lot of people are watching. It's still getting views. So I did actually pick up another couple Temu cameras. Or Temu? What do you say? Would you say Temu? Temu? So hopefully eventually, if I have time, I will also be doing videos about that. Maybe a new video about this. I don't know. I'm still using it. That's the thing. It's like it's not great. The quality is not great, but I do use it because it is lighter and easier to work with, and the battery life is surprisingly good compared to my GoPro. GoPro batteries die in like a couple hours, so this is kind of my go-to, and it's still 4K. I know it looks like crap, but I kind of like it. But beyond that, let's talk a little bit about some new film that I've picked up recently. New to me, I should say. For example, this is a roll of expired Seattle Filmworks Color 400. So Seattle Filmworks is a pretty interesting company. I might have talked about them before, I can't remember. So what you would do with Seattle Filmworks is they would sell this pretty cheaply, and it's only 20 exposures, so it's a shorter roll. And this is actually, at least their original stock, was actually a re-spooled cinema filmmaking film, and so it had a remjet layer, and so the process, it's not like C41 or ECN2 or anything like that. It's what they say is it's SFWXL. I don't know, you probably can't see that, but they kind of see that, which is their own process which stripped off the remjet layer. So I'm not sure that this particular roll of film is actually going to be able to be developed anywhere, besides the fact that it's expired like 20 years ago, January 2002. So maybe. So if you remember, I've talked about PhotoWorks before. Seattle Filmworks actually turned into PhotoWorks. They are technically the same company. They just changed names. And then PhotoWorks had a website, photoworks.com. And it was interesting. It was one of the first services where you could develop your film, and then they would scan it and put it up on the website for you, and then you'd have like a code you'd put in, and it takes you to your pictures, and you could attach it to an email, all powered through AOL. So that's that. Another one I've kind of wanted to talk about. I picked this up. There's some vintage malls around here, around the Portland, Vancouver area, that sell film, and they sell expired film. I love that because they are, taking something that they know is a commodity, film, and they know people can still use expired film, as tricky as it might be, and they're reselling it. And look at that. This is Kirkland signature. This is Costco film, color 200, high definition color. What does that mean? This is still in the box, and I'm kind of hesitant to open it. So it's made by Agfa. See it? There you go. Made in Germany by Agfa. It fits all 35mm cameras, so that's great. I love that. 24 exposure, daylight, ISO 200. Kirkland Signature 200 is the best all-around choice for general outdoor photography under normal lighting conditions or with flash. I'm excited to shoot this. I'm thinking this is probably a good candidate for the Yashica T4 or possibly the Minolta, wherever that went. It's in my backpack. But like I said, I'm a little hesitant to open that because it's still in the box. It's so cool. But we'll get to that. One other thing. So when if you saw my stream, and I'm still working on a video about it. Like I said, I'm working on a ton of different videos. I picked up the Lomography Daylight developing tank, which I'm going to have like a full review of because now I've used it several times that I have some thoughts, which I have shared with the company, let's just say. Not that they care about my opinion, but I complained and they gave me some tips. When you buy the kit, they give you some rolls of this, which is the Lomo black and white Potsdam 100. You can choose between this or the Berlin Kino 400, but this is cheaper. So black and white 100, I mean, fine. Oh wow, that's interesting. It gives you the expiration date. It says after the expiration date, the contrast, color, rendering, and intensity of this film will begin to change. Time to start experimenting. Great. But so I will shoot some of this at some point. I got 3 rolls of that to get through. And then now this isn't new by any means. If you're anywhere near the film photography YouTube area, you know about this, but Kentmere 400 panchromatic. I picked some up. I was in Seattle and I went to Glazer's Camera, and let me just for a second glaze let me dick ride Glazer's Camera for a second, because when I was in LA, I went to Sammy's Camera, which is cool, and I know probably most of what they're doing is for film, like film and TV. They rent cameras and stuff, or it's for you know, like professional photographers to rent stills camera. It was pretty much all digital from what I saw in there. Glazers, the whole bottom floor is that kind of stuff. They've got tons of cameras. They've got used cameras. They've got rental cameras. They've got podcasting gear. They've got filmmaking gear, all kinds of neat stuff. And then you go upstairs and tons of lighting stuff, but then they also have just a whole section of film developing, things like that. They and they have a freezer or a cooler filled with film. So I was going through and like I was trying to be economical, and Kentmere Pan is not the cheapest, but one of the cheapest black and white. They did have Arista, the Edu line, which is educational. It's meant to be cheap so that it could be used en masse by photography students, things like that. So I almost picked some of that up, but I was like, I got a little money, go for Kentmere. I've gotten some pictures back that, well, I developed my own pictures that I shot on this, and I loved it. I loved the look. It was really cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna do kind of a full breakdown of how that worked, developing my own pictures, but we'll get there. And another thing I picked up, which I had shot before, but I just wanted to do it again. This is an old canister of it, Street Candy. If you don't know what Street Candy is, Street Candy 400. This is film that was produced for ATM. That's why it's called ATM 400. Before security cameras were digital, they had to be film, so they used 35mm film, and there was tons and tons and tons of it produced, and it wasn't supposed to be particularly good, but it's black and white. It's 400, because if you can imagine, like, it's got to be somewhat sensitive. 400 is pretty good daylight, because it has to be able to operate throughout the day, and then usually with a bright, you know, an ATM's got like a bright light around it at night, so had to be good enough for all of those. What I did when I got my pictures back from this before, it's really kind of a lo-fi look. It's a bunch of lines and scratches. I kind of like that look. I'm not mad about it at all. I did worry that my camera was just broken, but then I got the pictures back, and I'm just like, oh, it's just the film. So I'm gonna shoot a roll of that. Now that's all well and good within the film. But something else I picked up, I went to Goodwill and I found for $14.99 on the shelf a Holga. So if you don't know what Holga is, you're not alone. Holga is it's essentially a toy camera. It is the most simple camera you could possibly make. Well, not necessarily. It's not like a box camera, but it is just all plastic, cheap plastic viewfinder. It's not an SLR, so you're not looking through the lens. It's not even a rangefinder. You get this tiny little window which is off center from the lens, so that's not necessarily what you're going to see. This is the GCFN variant, which means that's actually a glass lens, and it comes with a flash which has this knob on top, and you can change the color. It puts a color filter in front of the flash, so you can get different color flash, and it takes medium format 120 film, which is pretty interesting to me because my only other medium format camera is my Bronica, which I love, but is fucking massive. So having something small and light is nice, but the quality is questionable. Basically, your focus modes go from single person, be able to see that, to then small group, bigger group, and mountain. You just got a rewind knob. It doesn't stop, and then literally on the back of the camera there in that red window, that will show you the number that's on the back of the photo paper, and it will tell you roughly what frame you're on. But I don't know if these are centered correctly. I might run out of film too early. Then you've got, this is your aperture control right down here. It's a little switch. You can change it to indoor or outdoor, essentially. Those are your options. I basically just been keeping it on indoor because the film I have in here is expired, ultra fine black and white. I don't know how old it is and or when it expired. Picked it up at that same vintage store. And then you got a little shutter button right there. It's this little switch right here. This is hard to see because it's all black. And then on the bottom out here, it's taped over. It came to be taped over, but that changes your shutter speed from what was it, 1/100th, something like that, and then bulb, which means it'll just stay open as long as you hold the shutter. So those are your only options. So I really doubt I'm gonna get any pictures out of this on this particular roll, but I've seen some really incredible results from the Holga. People really swear by these cameras. Some people hate them, but for $15 at Goodwill, I will take it. It's something. It takes actual film. It takes actual pictures. So that was interesting pickup. Beyond that, for Christmas, my family did buy me 3 rolls of Ultramax. So still got that to work through, and whatever's in here. What do I got in here? Yeah, so 3 rolls of the Potsdam to get through, and then still have a roll of this Fuji Color, I think. Yeah, Fuji Color 200, and then I think a roll of 2 rolls of Kentmere. Yep, 2 rolls of Kentmere, 3 rolls of Potsdam, and that roll. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rolls currently to get through. So I'm not trying to buy too much. Yeah, this is that Kentmere I developed, and I certainly got results, and I was really surprised. I am going to have to work on my scanning and my developing techniques, but I was really happy with at least how that came out. As you can maybe tell, that's not a whole roll. It cuts off pretty early. Again, that's why I had to complain to the logography people, but that will be its own video. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you for sticking around and staying interested, and you know, get out there and make something.